Listen to me carefully. Most people dramatically overestimate what they can accomplish in a single day, but they massively underestimate what they can transform in just 6 months. 6 months. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. How you can completely reinvent your life in the next 180 days. And before you think this is just another motivational speech, let me tell you something. I've studied thousands of success stories, analyzed the patterns of breakthrough achievements, and discovered something fascinating. The people who create extraordinary transformations don't do it by accident. They follow specific principles, and they understand the science behind change. Today, I'm going to give you the exact blueprint that separates those who dream about change from those who actually create it. So, why 6 months? Why not a year? Why not a month? Let me break this down for you. A year feels too distant. Your brain can't maintain focus on something that far away. You lose urgency. You procrastinate. A month is too short to see meaningful transformation. But 6 months, that's the sweet spot. It's what I call realistic urgency. Here's what the science tells us. Your brain needs between 66 to 254 days to form a habit completely. 6 months gives you exactly the time you need to rewire your neural pathways. It's also perfectly aligned with human psychology. 6 months equals 2 seasons, which matches our natural adaptation cycles. Think about it this way. If you improve just 1% every single day for 180 days, you become 6 times better than when you started. That's not just improvement, that's complete transformation. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. 6 months is going to pass whether you take action or not. The question isn't whether time will pass. The question is where you want to be when those 6 months are over. Let me share with you the 15 principles that will make these next 6 months the most transformative period of your life. Principle 1. Clarity is power. The first principle is clarity is power. Here's the brutal truth. Fuzzy goals create fuzzy results. Sharp goals create sharp results. Most people say things like, I want to be healthier, or I want to be happier. That's not a goal, that's a wish. Your brain doesn't know what to do with wishes. Let me give you a real example from the summary. Here's the difference between fuzzy and clear. Fuzzy goal, I want to be healthier. Problem, this sounds good, but it's too general. How do you measure it? How do you know when you've achieved it? Clear goal. In the next 3 months, I will work out 4 times per week, eat 200 fewer calories daily, and lose 5 kilograms. This is specific, has numbers, has a deadline. Your brain knows exactly what needs to be done, making it much easier to focus. See the difference. The first statement is vague and unmeasurable. The second is specific, has numbers, has a deadline. Your brain knows exactly what needs to be done. Here's what happens when you get crystal clear. Your reticular activating system, that's the part of your brain that filters information, suddenly starts noticing opportunities that align with your specific goals. It's like buying a red car and then seeing red cars everywhere. They were always there, but now your brain is programmed to notice them. This isn't just theory. When your brain has a specific target, it becomes incredibly efficient at allocating energy and attention toward that target. Vague goals scatter your mental resources. Clear goals concentrate them like a laser beam. Tonight, I want you to take out a piece of paper and write down exactly what you want your life to look like 6 months from today. Don't write, I want to be successful. Write, I want to increase my income by 40%. Read 12 books, start my own side business, and build a network of 50 professional contacts. Be ruthlessly specific. Include numbers, dates, and measurable outcomes. Your future self will thank you for this clarity. Clarity is power. When you're crystal clear about what you want, the universe has an interesting way of helping you get it. Principle 2, Philosophy for Living. The second principle is philosophy for living. Your philosophy determines how you process everything that happens to you. It's not what happens that shapes your future. It's what you do about what happens. Success isn't magical or mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. But here's the challenge. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. It's easy to read 10 pages of a good book every day. It's also easy not to. It's easy to save 10% of your income. It's also easy not to. It's easy to exercise for 30 minutes. It's also easy not to. The small, simple things we do daily, reading a few pages, walking for 15 minutes, saving $1, seem insignificant in the moment, but they're actually the building blocks of our destiny. The difference between successful people and those who struggle isn't that successful people know more. It's that they consistently practice simple disciplines that most people overlook. Let me tell you about Sarah and Ben from our summary. Both understood the importance of saving money. Sarah decided to save just $5 every single day into her savings fund. Ben knew saving was good, but thought $5 doesn't matter much, and skipped it daily. After 1 year, Sarah had $1,825. After 10 years, she had over $18,000, not including interest. Ben had nothing. The difference wasn't knowledge. They both knew saving was important. The difference was philosophy. Sarah believed in doing simple things consistently. Ben believed small actions didn't matter. A strong life philosophy acts as your compass, helping you avoid being swept away by temporary emotions or external circumstances. It's what keeps you grounded when the world around you is chaotic. Your philosophy becomes your reality. If you believe small actions compound into big results, you'll take small actions. If you believe only big dramatic changes matter, you'll wait for the perfect moment that never comes. Here's what I want you to understand. Those small, simple things you do every day, they seem insignificant in the moment, but they're actually designing your destiny. Your daily philosophy in action becomes your life philosophy in results. Principle 3. Circle of Influence. The third principle is circle of influence. Jim Rohn said it best. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But it's deeper than that. In today's world, you're also the average of the 5 books you read, the 5 podcasts you listen to, the 5 social media accounts you follow most. Your environment has more influence than you realize. There are 2 types of people in this world, those who inspire you and those who tire you. Your job over the next 6 months is to increase your exposure to people who inspire you and decrease your exposure to those who tire you. Here's what I call the principle of borrowed belief. When you spend time around people with bigger thinking, you start to borrow their vision and confidence until it becomes your own. Success leaves clues, and the fastest way to shorten your learning curve is to observe and learn the habits, thinking patterns, and strategies from people who have already achieved what you want. Let me give you a concrete example from our research. Many startup founders in Silicon Valley deliberately hang out at cafes and co-working spaces with people who have already raised millions in funding. They observe how these successful entrepreneurs pitch their ideas, network with investors, and manage their teams. Then they copy and apply these strategies, shortening their learning curve by years instead of trying to figure everything out through trial and error. Environment shapes thinking. You will think, act, and achieve results similar to the environment you're consistently exposed to. This is why it's crucial to be intentional about who and what influences you daily. You don't have to physically move to Silicon Valley. You can create your own success environment. Follow 100 successful people online instead of people who just complain. Listen to interviews with industry leaders instead of gossip. Read biographies of people who've achieved what you want to achieve instead of consuming mindless entertainment. But here's the key. You also need to audit your current circle. Apply the 80-20 principle of relationship filtering. You don't need to completely cut people out, but you should allocate your energy wisely. Spend 80% of your time with people who lift you up, and only 20% with those you're obligated to maintain relationships with. Remember, your environment is stronger than your willpower. Change your environment, and you change your life. The people and influences you expose yourself to daily are quietly shaping who you become. Principle 4. The power of writing it down. The fourth principle is the power of writing it down. You must become a serious student of your own life. Every time you read something powerful, every time you have an insight, every time you learn something valuable, write it down. But don't just copy it. Make it yours. When you encounter something meaningful, don't just write down what you read. Write down what resonated with you personally. Connect it to real situations in your work or life. Summarize it into concrete action steps you can take. This practice serves 3 crucial purposes. First, you remember 60 to 70% more than if you just read passively. The act of writing engages different parts of your brain and creates stronger neural pathways. Second, you create a personal knowledge library you can return to anytime. This becomes your customized wisdom collection. Third, you transform learning into action, preventing knowledge from dying on the page. You become someone who applies wisdom, not just collects it. Let me give you a practical example. If you read just 10 pages of a good book every day, in 6 months, you'll have read 1,800 pages. That's approximately 6 to 7 books. Do you think your life would be different if you absorbed the wisdom from 7 carefully chosen books? Of course it would. But here's what most people don't realize. Reading isn't enough. You need to process what you read. You need to take notes. You need to apply the insights. Without documentation, you're just entertaining yourself with other people's ideas instead of building your own wisdom. The goal is to help you remember longer, create your own knowledge treasury, and transform learning into action rather than letting knowledge remain dormant. This discipline of documentation transforms you from a knowledge consumer into a knowledge owner and applier. Think of it this way. Every book you read with intentional note-taking is like adding another mentor to your brain. Over 6 months, you're building a personal board of advisors in your mind. Principle 5. The best investment, you. The fifth principle is the best investment, you. Jim Rohn said, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune." Here's something that fascinates me. People will spend $100 on dinner without thinking twice, but they hesitate to spend $100 on a book or course that could change their life. Think about this. $100 for dinner satisfies you for a few hours, and then it's gone forever. $100 for education and skills opens opportunities to multiply your income by 10x or 100x in the future. The ROI isn't even comparable. The return on investment in yourself is literally unlimited. A $1,000 course that teaches you a skill worth an additional $100,000 annually gives you a 10,000% return. No stock market investment can match that kind of return on investment. Here's what I want you to do. Calculate how much you've invested in your own development in the past year. Include books, courses, seminars, coaching, anything that improved your knowledge or skills. Then calculate how much you've spent on entertainment, dining out, and things that provided only temporary satisfaction. I'm not saying don't enjoy life. I'm saying be intentional about the balance. Every dollar you invest in developing yourself pays dividends for the rest of your life. Every dollar spent on temporary pleasures is gone forever. Over the next 6 months, commit to investing in yourself, whether it's books, courses, seminars, or coaching. Make self-education a non-negotiable budget item, just like rent or food. If someone is going where you want to go, they know something you don't know. Invest in learning what they know. If there's a skill that could transform your career, invest in developing that skill. If there's knowledge that could change your life, invest in acquiring that knowledge. Your formal education gave you the basics to make a living. Your self-education will give you the advanced skills to make a fortune. The question is, are you willing to invest in your own potential? Principle 6. The magic of small wins. The 6th principle is the magic of small wins. Small improvements, sustained over time, create massive results. Most people wait to do something big. They're waiting for the perfect moment to make a dramatic change. But success doesn't work that way. Success is built on 1,000 tiny decisions made correctly day after day. Here's the magic. If you get just 1% better every single day, you're not just 365% better at the end of the year. Because of compounding, you're actually 37 times better. Let me give you a concrete example. If you decide to learn 5 new vocabulary words every day, after 6 months, you'll know 900 new words. If you started with a vocabulary of 1,000 words, you've nearly doubled your word knowledge in just 6 months. This improvement in vocabulary dramatically enhances your speaking, writing, and comprehension abilities. The key is this. Small actions maintained consistently create identity shifts. You don't just become someone who occasionally develops themselves. You become someone who constantly develops themselves. This is what separates champions from everyone else. Champions understand that winning happens in the small moments when nobody's watching. It happens in the decision to do the right thing when it's easy to do the wrong thing. Start ridiculously small. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Principle 7. From goals to gains. The 7th principle is from goals to gains. Most people set goals that are too small. They set goals based on what they think they can achieve instead of what they truly want. Over the next 6 months, I want you to set goals that scare you a little bit. If your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. But here's the key. Break these big goals down into daily activities. Let me share a story. A person wanted to open their own coffee shop. Instead of just dreaming about it, they broke it down. This week, research different coffee shop business models. Next month, take a barista course. Following months, save a specific amount each month. Continue learning about business operations, supplier relationships, location scouting. After 1 to 2 years, their dream of opening a coffee shop became reality. Success isn't about what you do occasionally, it's about what you do consistently. Your daily actions should be stepping stones toward your bigger vision. Here's what I want you to understand. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Focus on building systems that automatically move you toward your objectives. Principle 8. Raise your standards. The 8th principle is raise your standards. Your life doesn't operate according to what you want. It operates according to the minimum standards you're willing to accept. People with low standards easily compromise, easily give up, easily get swept along by circumstances. People with high standards force themselves and their environment to rise to meet those standards. Here's how this shows up in real life. In relationships, low standard, I guess this is good enough. High standard, I deserve a partner who supports my growth and shares my values. In income, low standard, I'm comfortable with getting by. High standard, I won't accept earning less than X amount per year, so I need to develop skills and find opportunities to reach that level. In health, low standard, I'll exercise when I feel like it. High standard, I work out 4 times per week, no exceptions, because my health is non-negotiable. When you raise your standards, something amazing happens. You start making decisions that align with those standards. You start attracting opportunities that match those standards. You start becoming the person who naturally operates at that level. Your standards become your destiny. Raise them carefully, but raise them consistently. Principle 9. Rituals that win. The 9th principle is rituals that win. Your life isn't shaped by what you do occasionally, it's shaped by what you do consistently. Daily rituals are like the backbone that creates structure for your life. They shape your habits, your thinking, and ultimately the results you achieve. Most successful people have 2 to 3 non-negotiable daily rituals. For many, it starts with how they begin their day. Here's a simple but powerful morning ritual that can transform your life. Wake up 1 hour earlier every day. That's 180 extra hours over 6 months, equivalent to 4.5 weeks of 40-hour work weeks. Think about what you could accomplish with an extra 180 hours of focused time. Use that hour for 10 minutes of silence or meditation, 15 minutes of journaling or planning, 20 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of physical movement. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Even if you only do this 5 days a week, you're still creating massive positive changes in your life. Remember, how you start your day determines how you live your day. Win your morning, and you win your life. Principle 10. Power of accountability. The 10th principle is power of accountability. When you're accountable to someone, your performance improves dramatically. Here's a fascinating aspect of human psychology. We'll do more to avoid letting others down than we'll do to lift ourselves up. Use this to your advantage. Research shows that when people are being observed, their performance improves by 20 to 40%. When people make public commitments, their success rate increases by 65%. When people have coaches or accountability partners, they achieve their goals 70% more often. Here's how to apply this. Find an accountability partner, someone who's also committed to growth. Meet weekly to share your progress, challenges, and commitments for the following week. Join or create a mastermind group where people support each other's goals and hold each other accountable. Make public commitments on social media or to friends and family about specific goals you're working toward. The key is creating positive pressure. When you know someone is counting on you to follow through, you're much more likely to do so. Principle 11. Focus drives results. The 11th principle is focus drives results. Where focus goes, energy flows. In our hyper-connected world, the average person checks their phone 150 times per day. That's constant focus fragmentation. Meanwhile, research shows that 4 hours of focused work produces more results than 8 hours of distracted work. Here's what I've learned from studying highly successful people. They don't try to do everything. They identify the 20% of activities that produce 80% of their results, and they focus relentlessly on those activities. Steve Jobs once said, Focus is about saying no. Apple didn't become successful by making hundreds of products. They became successful by making a few products extraordinarily well. Over the next 6 months, you need to become ruthless about protecting your focus. This means eliminating or minimizing activities that don't move you toward your goals, creating blocks of uninterrupted time for your most important work, learning to say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. Remember, don't major in minor things. Don't confuse being busy with being productive. Focus on what matters most and let everything else go. Principle 12. Celebrate the wins. The 12th principle is celebrate the wins. Don't wait until you reach your final goal to celebrate. Celebrate progress, not just achievements. Here's what neuroscience tells us. Celebrating small wins releases dopamine, which is your brain's motivation fuel. When you celebrate progress, you're literally programming your brain to want more progress. Harvard Business School research found that feeling progress is the #1 motivator for continued effort. People who celebrate small victories are more likely to persist through challenges and ultimately achieve their bigger goals. Here's how to apply this. If you set a goal to read 12 books this year, celebrate every time you finish one book instead of waiting until you've read all 12. If you're working toward a fitness goal, celebrate every workout, every healthy meal choice, every pound lost. Create celebration triggers every 2 weeks. These don't have to be expensive or elaborate. They just need to acknowledge your progress and reinforce your commitment to continued growth. When you celebrate the journey, the destination becomes more achievable and more enjoyable. Principle 13. Give to grow. The 13th principle is give to grow. Success without contribution is empty achievement. When you contribute, you don't just give. You also learn new skills, expand your network, and increase your own value. The most successful people balance what they achieve for themselves with what they bring to others. Contribution creates meaning and connection with community, helping you feel you belong to something bigger than yourself. When you contribute, you develop new capabilities, expand your network, and elevate your personal value. Let me share an example. After selling his startup for millions, an entrepreneur opened a scholarship fund for underprivileged students. This didn't just help those students, it gave his success deeper meaning and connected him with a community of other philanthropists and educators. Here's what I want you to understand. The more value you create for others, the more valuable you become. It's not just about what you can get. It's about what you can give. Over the next 6 months, look for ways to add value to others' lives. Share your knowledge, mentor someone, volunteer your skills, help others solve problems you've already solved. True success isn't just about what you accumulate, it's about what you contribute. Principle 14. Power of decisiveness. The 14th principle is power of decisiveness. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them quickly. Decisive people don't waste time in hesitation, allowing them to seize opportunities before they disappear. Every decision you make today shapes your tomorrow. Let me give you an example. Steve Jobs made the quick decision to eliminate the keyboard from the iPhone, a decision that went against industry trends at the time but changed the entire mobile industry. Here's what happens when you become decisive. You stop missing opportunities while you're thinking about them. You build momentum. You gain confidence in your judgment. You start attracting other decisive people who can help you succeed. Indecisive people live in a constant state of what if and maybe tomorrow. Decisive people live in a state of let's find out and let's make it happen. Over the next 6 months, practice making decisions quickly, not recklessly, but without endless deliberation. Gather the information you need, trust your judgment, and move forward. Remember, a good decision made quickly is usually better than a perfect decision made too late. Principle 15. Power of gratitude. The 15th and final principle is power of gratitude. This might be the most powerful transformation tool you'll ever discover. Here's what I want you to do. Starting tonight, write down 3 things you're grateful for every single day. That's 540 moments of gratitude over the next 6 months. Gratitude helps reshape how we see life. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we focus on what we have. When you're grateful, you easily create positive energy, which attracts more good opportunities. Oprah Winfrey shares that keeping a gratitude journal was one of the biggest keys to maintaining balance and feeling fulfilled, even during her busiest periods. But here's what makes gratitude so powerful. What you appreciate appreciates. When you focus on the good things in your life with genuine appreciation, you tend to notice more good things. It's like training your brain to be a magnet for positive experiences. Let me give you a simple formula. Every night, write down 3 achievements from that day, 2 lessons you learned, and 1 thing you're excited about for tomorrow. This practice rewires your brain for positivity and opportunity recognition. It helps you end each day feeling accomplished and start each morning feeling optimistic. Your transformation starts now. These 15 principles aren't just concepts to think about, they're a blueprint for complete life transformation. But knowledge without action is worthless. Information without implementation is just entertainment. Here's what I want you to understand. 6 months from now, you will surely arrive. The question is where? That answer depends entirely on the decisions you make today and the actions you take starting tomorrow. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is found in your daily routine. Success isn't about dramatic gestures or perfect moments. It's about consistent small actions that compound over time. Most people will hear these principles and do nothing. They'll nod their heads, think, "That makes sense," and then go back to their old patterns. Don't be most people. A small percentage will actually implement these principles. They'll start writing clear goals. They'll upgrade their philosophy. They'll change their environment. They'll invest in themselves. They'll build better rituals. Those are the people who will look back 6 months from now and barely recognize the person they used to be. Those are the people who will have stories of transformation, not stories of regret. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And today, right here, right now, you have the opportunity to make changes that will completely transform your life over the next 6 months. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take this moment and make it perfect. Don't wait for motivation. Take action and let motivation follow. Don't wait for conditions to improve. Improve your response to conditions. Remember, everything you need to create an extraordinary life is within your reach. The knowledge is available. The strategies are proven. The opportunities are endless. The only question is, are you ready to begin? 6 months is going to pass whether you take action or not. The only question is where you want to be when those 6 months are over. Start today. Start now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now, take one principle, apply it today, then tomorrow, apply it again and again until it becomes part of who you are. Your transformation doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins when you decide you're ready. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today, and today you've taken the first step toward that preparation. Now go forth and make these next 6 months the most transformative, productive, and meaningful 6 months of your entire life. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Don't let them down. Thank you, and remember, your transformation starts now.